Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Metabolism and Menopause podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I am your host and CEO of VitalityOET. We are a women's nutrition, health, and fitness company that focuses predominantly on women's hormones, particularly as we start going through perimenopause and onwards. We know that you experience a ton of changes in this time of your life, whether that be hot flashes, night sweats, irritability, brain fog, or weight gain around the middle that came out of absolutely nowhere despite you not changing anything. So you go back to your regular methods of reducing your weight, whether that be cutting calories, cutting carbs, doing a bunch of cardio, yet nothing seems to be working this time. In fact, you start feeling worse, your energy and sleep are garbage, and the scale might actually start moving in the wrong direction. But we know now that your body is inherently different now that you're experiencing these hormonal changes. So our mission here is to teach you about how your body changes during perimenopause and menopause so you can reach your health and fitness goals, live a life full of vitality, feel in control and at home in your body again, and really understand how to take care of this new body of yours. So today, what I want to talk about is the big question, calories for menopause fat loss. You have made the choice to jump in and better your health and boost your metabolism or try to lose fat or maybe all three. And congrats, that is a huge, huge step and you should be really proud of yourself. So now a lot of women have reached out. They have asked me how many calories to eat and things like that. And maybe I've given you a goal, but knowing where to go from here, how to efficiently reach those changes that you want to see can be really daunting. And not only can it be difficult to really figure out where to start, even if you are inside our Facebook community, because we give a lot of information, you get a ton of resources. We have over 300 in our library now, which is crazy. But it's even hard to know what to do when you have 12 different Instagram accounts telling you 12 different things. And then there's TikTok and there's Facebook. And someone says fasting, some says no fasting, carbs, no carbs, fat, no fat. All of these things, right? And it can make you feel so overwhelmed. And it's just a recipe for confusion, frustration, hopelessness. So how can you even figure out which is the right way? But that's what we're here for. So the first thing I want to remind you all of is we give this information out for free because we want to help you. And we want you to feel more informed and more empowered to make the right decisions. We have always prided ourselves in being able to help you cut through all the crap that you see on the internet and everything that you've heard and figuring out what is right or best to do for your specific body. And we aren't trying to sell you pills or powders or meal plans or anything like that. If you want to do coaching, sweet. If you don't want to, I don't care. I just want to help because there seems to be such a big gap between the right information, what we're getting somewhere else, and then being able to access that information and understand that information is just a lot. And it's really, really frustrating and really, really challenging. And it's something that really drives me crazy because the way our bodies change during perimenopause and menopause is substantial. It's not small changes. The way our body functions is completely different. But a lot of people don't understand this. They don't do the research, get the certifications, reach out to people that can help, get the education that they need to be able to help you. Or maybe they have the education, but they don't know how to apply it and help you get there. It's a lot. And if you're not interested in this area, if it's not something you want to learn about, which unfortunately a lot of doctors and other coaches and practitioners don't, you feel like garbage. They just tell you, oh, you're not in a deficit. Oh, you must not be tracking accurately. Oh, you're not doing the right things. You're not trying hard enough. No, things have changed. Things have changed, and you need to understand how past diets are going to affect your metabolism, and then also these hormonal changes and what physiologically changes in your body. So that being said, if you do want help with some of this stuff, you want to book a consultation call, please do so. Again, we will never ask you about coaching ever unless you ask us. We just want to help you figure out how much you should be eating, how to get there, what that looks like, and answer all the questions to help you understand your specific body. So I'm going to go over first how to really calculate the right calorie intake for you. I did a webinar in our Facebook group a while ago on how to use MyFitnessPal, all the tips and tricks to make things a lot easier, how to track, make it less overwhelming. So if you haven't seen that, I would recommend going to our Facebook group and watching that, because it's going to help you with this next part. Again, it's going to just complete all the information so you get a nice, good picture of how to do all of this. So how do we calculate the right calorie intake for you? We have a goal to change how our body is functioning right now. For some of us, it might be improving your sleep. Maybe it's fixing your digestion, improving your energy, reducing belly fat, improving your muscle mass, or maybe it's overall weight loss. For some women we talk to, usually it's going to be a combination of some of those things, if not all of them, hormonal symptoms, the whole shebang, right? And we all know how important nutrition is to achieving these changes. Everybody said it's 80% diet, it's 80% diet. So where do you start? How do I actually calculate my calories or macros now that I'm in perimenopause or menopause or postmenopause? Okay, all this applies. First of all, online calorie calculators. Have you ever tried to put your age, your height, your weight, and then maybe some activity level into whatever website or tracking app that you're on? Yes, even MyFitnessPal, and it spits out just a random number for you, right? And it's probably some crazy low, inaccurate number, or it seems extremely hard to maintain and be sustainable. And calorie calculators typically tend to be really low. It'll estimate quite low for you. That's not fun, it's not sustainable, and it's not great. For me, when I use MyFitnessPal, I put in my age, height, weight. This was pre-pregnancy. So I'm 145 pounds. I'm 5'5". I work out about 2, maybe 3 days a week. And I eat anywhere from 2,200 to 2,400 calories to maintain. If I want to lose, I'm eating 1,800. It told me to maintain 1,600. To lose weight, it told me to go to like 13. I would literally die if I tried to eat 1,300 calories. I eat more than that by the time lunchtime comes around. That's not accurate. That would destroy my body and my hormones, because I've been there. I've done that. It was not good. It was not good for me. Then I've seen other coaches be like, oh, you take your weight and times it by 10, times it by 11, and that's how much you should be eating. That would put me at 1,400 and 1,450. Again, that is 1,000 calories less than what I eat to maintain. That is not feasible. For most women I talk to who are 180 pounds, they need to be eating 2,000 plus calories. For someone who is 200 calories or 200 pounds, they're typically eating more than that to maintain. If I'm maintaining at like 2,200, even 2,000 at 145 pounds, there are people who are far more active, who are far more exhausted, experiencing a lot more stress, plus hormonal imbalances. Do you really think that eating less is going to help them function properly? No. So this is why it's not that simple. Those calculators are so not good for you, you guys. It's not good. They're wildly inaccurate. They're going to make things worse for you. And in our opinion, it's not something that you can trust as a true number. And here's why. Okay, so first off, I'm going to try not to get too ranty, but like, as you can tell, this is something I really care about, I'm really passionate about, and this stuff literally drives me crazy. So first of all, online calculators do not account for menopause because there is no equation for calculating your energy needs in menopause. But our energy needs are different in menopause than they were prior. This is important to know before you go to an arbitrary website or Google Calculate My Calories, because one, it is scientifically proven that women entering perimenopause and onwards have different energy requirements than women when they are premenopausal. This pertains largely to protein, but is relevant with calories as well. Okay? Scientifically proven. Scientifically. It does not take into account the stress factors, which play a huge, huge role in menopause and how our body functions. Remember, when estrogen starts to go down, we lose our hormonal buffer to deal with stress, So now we can't handle as much stress as we did before. Cortisol is going to go up, and we're going to see a further decrease in our sex hormones, our thyroid function, our blood sugar control, our liver health, and our gut health. And all those things are going to lead to more bloating, to you feeling more tired, having a harder time putting on muscle mass, and your metabolism will slow down. Your body becomes worse at burning calories, making it harder to burn fat and lose weight. Okay? So, sorry, I'm already working myself up. I gotta take a couple of breaths here. Then we also have to think about carbohydrates here. We need to make sure we're eating enough carbohydrates to help buffer the stress since the estrogen isn't there anymore. But a lot of people push low carb, and it makes things worse. So the other thing about online calculators is it doesn't take into account your history of dieting. Like it or not, you have multiple years, if not decades, of dieting and restriction under your belt now. Okay? Don't give yourself a hard time for this. You didn't know any better. No one gave you the resources and the research and the support that you needed at that time, right? But now it's something that we do have to address. And the more that you have dieted, the more your metabolism is likely in a bad spot. Okay, so it's more likely slowed. Your body's not as good at burning calories anymore. And therefore, you most likely have to bring that metabolism back up before you can try to lose fat, or before you can go into a fat loss phase or see that change. So this is like I talked about the other day. We're at 22 to 2,400 calories. To lose weight, I'm eating 1,800 calories. Slowly, my metabolism is going to adjust and slow down, and now I'm there. Then to lose weight, I have to go even lower. And so my metabolism goes lower and lower and lower and lower, and that becomes my maintenance. So my 1,200 calories ends up being my maintenance, but you can't go any lower because if you eat less than that, your body's not functioning properly anymore. And we start seeing huge health issues because you're not eating enough food to support your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your blood circulating, your brain functioning, your nervous system functioning, hormone health. So when things start to deteriorate and you start breaking down muscle mass and your body fat percentage goes up and your blood sugar and cholesterol go to crap, these things happen, but they're just not asking these questions. And then I hate when people are like, oh, your metabolism doesn't slow down as you age. Yeah, if you're looking at a population that hasn't dieted and you're controlling for all factors, sure. But how many people do you come across, particularly women, by the time they hit menopause, that haven't done multiple dieting attempts? That haven't lost weight and gained it back, lost weight and gained it back, lost weight and gained it back, and are now dealing with hormonal issues. Your metabolism is going to be slower because of all of those factors. So when people put the stupid statistic that drives me freaking crazy, I saw it yesterday, and it says, your metabolism doesn't slow down. You're just not eating in a calorie deficit. It makes me want to shake people because how is that information helpful? You're just telling people they aren't trying hard enough, that they're eating too much. Are you really telling me that someone who is struggling with all these things, and they have these chronic conditions and hormonal imbalances and past dieting history, and you're telling me that they're eating too much at 1,100 calories? Are you serious? Are you serious? How is that information helpful to anyone? And sometimes I want to comment, I want to share it, I want to go on a rant on social media, but I don't want to, be that person that becomes a troll on the internet or something. But the complete ignorance from some people to acknowledge that this is something that is happening in literally half the population. Yes, there's some people who don't struggle during perimenopause and menopause. They haven't dieted a ton. They've worked out their entire life. They've been being in a surplus. They're eating enough food. They've put on a lot of muscle. Yes, they're probably going to be okay. But for the majority of the population, that is not the case. People have been dieting since they were 12 years old. So to put out a statistic like that is insane. And unfortunately, that is the most common way of thinking. And those online calculators and these stupid equations that you see these coaches put out are just that, which is insane. Because it doesn't apply to most of the people that we talk to, particularly women who diet culture just preys on and just wants their money and tries to get them to purchase things over and over and over again, and are preying on people in a very vulnerable state where they are so desperate and they're hopeless and just wanting to get control of their body. And then that's the information you put out. Shame on you. So that's something to think about when you're seeing these things. And honestly, for me, that's a red flag where I'm already like unfollowing those people because you are part of the problem, unfortunately. Yes, you may be a scientist. Yes, you're looking at scientific data, but you're not looking at what the average woman has been through, which is a lot. And that's not even accounting for trauma and COVID and all the other crazy crap that we're going through and empty nesters and go and taking your kids everywhere and taking care of everybody else. It's not the same. It's not the same. And weight gain is real in menopause. And this is one that just like gets under my skin when people say, oh, there's no difference. Oh, you're just not exercising enough. Like, quite frankly, screw you. But the weight gain is real in menopause. And here is why. This study came out in 2021, so very, very recently, that it shows that the loss of estrogen when you hit perimenopause and menopause will change your body composition and fat metabolism. So your ability to break down fat and utilize that as energy. You are going to see an increased muscle wasting effect. That's going to affect your metabolism. So when estrogen goes down, we see that muscle mass tends to go down, especially if we're not eating enough food, enough carbohydrates, or exercising accordingly. And unfortunately, most women are doing the HIIT. They're doing the cardio. And yes, there's people that say HIIT is great for menopause. If you are in a good position, if you are not eating enough food, you don't have energy, you're not sleeping, those workouts are not beneficial for you. That is going to put you into a further hormonal imbalance and really mess stuff up. But no one talks about these things because they're just trying to sell you their product. They're trying to sell you your book. It's more complicated than that. There's a lot of it depends. And for a lot of people, there's contraindications. So these studies are showing you're going to have a change in your body composition. You are going to have a harder time breaking down fat. You are going to see muscle mass go down, which makes it so your metabolism goes down because muscle burns a lot of calories at rest. So now we're losing that. So you're burning less calories at rest. And it's going to lead to an accumulation of more belly fat. This is shown in the science. And now, as our visceral fat or our belly fat, the fat around our organs, are free, and if we start to see that come down, our free fatty acids in our bloodstream are going to increase. And our body has a hard time dealing with this. And that's going to lead to more insulin resistance over time. And if you're dealing with low estrogen and low testosterone, you're already going to have a harder time with your blood sugars. If you're in a high stress state, you're also going to have a hard time with your blood sugars. Yet the things that we're doing to try and tell people to improve their blood sugars and to improve their body composition is actually making the problem worse. And this is shown in studies time and time again. Is it brand new information? Yes, but this is something that we've been seeing for years and something that we've been talking about for years. And now finally, after screaming and shouting and screaming and shouting and advocating and women feeling like they're totally crazy, finally, there are researchers who are doing it. But unfortunately, research takes 20 to 25 years to make it into the healthcare system. So now we're not going to see this stuff come into the healthcare system and be touted as regular practice until 2050. So do you really want to wait for your doctor to catch up? And I mean, if they're not interested in this space, if they're not interested in women's hormones and metabolism and menopause, they're not going to read up on it. They don't care. It's not interesting to them. To them, it's not a real enough problem. It's not as severe as some other cases, right? To them, it's just, oh, you're uncomfortable, deal with it. No, that's not okay. So we see these fatty acids increase in our bloodstream and we have a hard time to deal with them, and it's going to lead to insulin resistance. And there's also evidence of slower oxidation of free fatty acids. So what that means is we have a lower and slower fat burning capability. So if anyone tells you that it doesn't matter that you're in menopause, that hormones aren't making a difference, that you're just not in a deficit, that you just need to eat less and move more, I want to give them the middle finger. I won't do it right now, but in my brain, this is what I'm doing. Every single time I hear a story, every time I see these stupid posts on social media, I am enraged because you are part of the problem. And you're not empowering women to understand their bodies and take control of it because your ignorance is causing harm. So it's not that simple. And people need to understand this and understand that it's going to take longer to get to where you want to be, which freaking sucks. I know it does. It sucks to hear that, but it is the truth. So basically, after my long rant, which I promised myself I wasn't going to do, but here we are. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is your metabolic and nutritional needs change in menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause. And online calculators and those stupid simple equations probably won't be giving you a very accurate number to support fat loss in this new stage of life. It's going to take some troubleshooting. It's going to take some time seeing how your body responds, paying attention to your biofeedback. It's going to take time. And I know it sucks to hear that. It does. But at least you know there is a way and you can get there. But it's not going to be from eating 1,100 calories. I promise you that. Secondly, oh man, I'm so sorry, you guys. I just get so worked up because there's so much I wish I could change about the health and fitness space, because I think there are great things that have happened, like women are starting to lift heavier weights, which is awesome. But I also think there's been such a huge step backwards and we've really messed up. We've really messed up. And the space needs to change. So, secondly, it's important to note that the calories you should be at or that you may be given doesn't necessarily matter until you figure out where you're at right now. So remember, your metabolism is adaptive, which means it will adapt over time to whatever you're doing to it. Okay, so this is like, I don't know, let's put a plant. It's in a really windy place. Over time, that plant is going to get stronger so that it's not going to break and fall apart, right? Evolutionarily, that will happen. Our bodies are kind of like that. It's adapting to the stimulus that it's getting to be able to protect itself from all these stressors. So this is the thing that I'm always going to ask people. I ask you a ton of questions. If you ask me to calculate your calories, there's like 13 questions I ask you. You answer back, and then typically I have more questions for you for more clarification. But I always need to know where you're at right now. And this is why. If you are under eating, or you're always trying to diet, or you're always trying to get skinnier, or you're always trying to lose fat, it's probably going to be pretty down-regulated, your metabolism. Like your body's probably pretty poor at burning calories compared to where it should be when we calculate and figure things out for you. Because we're going to take into account all of these things, okay? If you are eating inconsistently from day to day, or you have a way higher calories on the weekend, and then you're probably being stressed and protective, and then you're really low some days. If you're inconsistent day to day and up and down and kind of yo-yoing, like there's a big range, your body is going to protect because it doesn't know what's happening the next day. Are we going to get 2,200 calories? Or are we going to get 600? Are you going to have breakfast and lunch, or are you going to skip those today? So then your body kind of becomes a sponge and it wants to like hold on to things just in case you don't feed it. So this is why making sure you're getting enough food consistently and you're in a decent range is really important. Okay, so how are we going to combat this? Well, the thing is, what gets measured gets managed. I need to know where you're at right now. So there's no point in asking me where your calories should be if you're not planning on tracking, because really that number is not going to mean anything to you. Let's be honest. So the only way that you should be creating a plan for yourself is you need to figure out where you're starting from, then utilize where you should be and create a progressive plan and get there. So let's say I have, $30,000 in my saving and I want to be a millionaire. Okay. I'm going to have plans to invest some money. I'm going to make sure I'm maybe like reducing costs, adding more savings into my investments. I'm going to have a plan of what that looks like. I'm not just magically going to wake up one day and be like, hey, I have $1 million. Like, no, you have to have a plan. Same with like if you are trying to move up at work or get a promotion, maybe you are trying to become a doctor and specialize in a certain area. You have a plan with clear steps as to how you're going to get to that end goal. But when it comes to health and nutrition, we don't seem to think that applies. We think that we should just like do something and magically it'll work. Like you still have to have a plan. So here at Vitality, we have a specific equation that we utilize. And then depending on all the feedback we get, we'll adjust a lot of things for you because everything matters. And then it helps us figure out our timelines. We plug things into some assessments that we have to really get a full picture as to where is your body, how is your metabolism. We're going to ask you what kind of diets you did, how long you did them for, what's your dieting history, where your calories were, what those diets were, so then we can have a better idea as to where your body has been for a good portion of its life. Plus everything else that you're going through, your energy, your sleep, all those things, because that tells us the state of where your body is currently, plus what you've been through, because that matters. And if people aren't asking you those questions when they're giving you advice, how are they supposed to know what's good for your body when they don't even know it? It doesn't work that way. So we figure out where things should technically be if everything is working where we want them. Some people might call this maintenance, which we do as well, but we want to think of it as optimal performance. At this calorie range, everything should be good. Hormones should be balanced, sleep should be good, energy should be good, you should be more resilient to stress, digestion should be good, you should be having regular bowel movements. At this intake, you should be seeing great performance in the gym, you're getting through your workouts, you're getting stronger. This is where you want to be. And it's basically where your weight is, where your nutrition is, when you feel great in all other aspects of your life. Then we help you figure out how to get down in weight and then figure out what your new maintenance would be based on everything that we've been through. But again, it's going to take time. This isn't going to be like a 4-week thing, a 6-week thing, even a 3-month thing. It's going to take some time. So if you need help figuring out what this optimal is, where are you? How's your metabolism? What does that look like? How can we bring you back up? Book a consultation with us or message me. But honestly, having a consultation is a little bit easier because in DMs, I do get lots, which I love, and don't stop messaging me, but it can take a few days to get everything that I need from you. Whereas if we can just hop on a Zoom call, we can get it done in 30 minutes, 15 minutes, get everything done. If you email me, I can ask you some more questions before the call so we can really maximize our time together and really explain everything that you need so you understand what you need and we can calculate that calorie intake for you. So if you get nothing else from this webinar, this podcast, just remember that once you're given a calorie intake from myself or someone else on my team, don't just go eating that amount. Because if your maintenance calories currently, because your metabolism has been slow, is at 1,200 calories, if you go up to 2,000, that's an 800 calorie difference. You are going to see weight gain. So what we want to do is eat within your maintenance window and slowly bring you up. So let's say your maintenance is 1,200 to 1,400. We're going to get you eating closer to 1,350, 1,400. And then we're going to bring that up slowly. Your metabolism will come up. Then we're eating at that higher range of your maintenance again, and it'll just keep coming up and keep coming up and coming up so you can get that metabolism up. But it's going to take time. Okay? Most of us are under eating, and the calorie goal that we're going to give you for optimal health is going to be quite a bit higher and to help you build and maintain muscle mass. But we need to work our way up there. If you move too quickly or too fast, you're probably going to see some weight gain, potentially some inflammation, potentially some belly fat, and also constipation, especially if you're increasing fiber and protein quickly. You won't be pooping and that'll suck. So make sure that you are doing things slowly. So when we give you that outline, it's going to say increase by X amount each week, monitor how you're feeling, only increase protein by this much so you can really see how your body's responding in as little of risk category as we can. So that's going to be really helpful for you. Again, I wish I could just give you a simple calculation, but as you can see, our bodies aren't in that position where that really applies, right? Maybe when you're in your early 20s, sure. But with all the things that we've been through and how your body functions and changes in this time of your life, it's not that simple. And anyone who tells you it is doing a massive disservice. So with that being said, the very first thing that you want to do is figure out where you are now. Okay, track for a couple days, see where you're at. Message me, book a consultation call. We can figure out where you need to be and help you figure out a plan on how to get there. And we will outline this completely. Again, like I said, we'll never bring up coaching. We will just tell you what your journey should look like to get you to where you want to be so that you can go into a fat loss phase. We do have a quiz as well that kind of based on some different questions can give you a general gauge as to where your metabolism is at. Is your metabolism fast? Is it healthy? Can you go into a fat loss phase pretty quick? Is it more in a yellow or red stage? So do I need to reverse for a little bit? Is there something I need to tweak? It'll give you a better idea as to where your metabolism stands. If you want to start there, I'll put that in the show notes for you as well. And again, I wish I could just give you a simple calculation, But for me, I'm very big on ethics and morals and values. Number one is do no harm. I can't guarantee that with a simple calculation that we wouldn't be doing harm. So that's why we do things like this, why we do it personally, why we want to get to know you and everything that you've been through. So if you want to do that, book a consultation call, message me, or you can take the quiz in the show notes to get you moving in the right direction. I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry it was ranty. If you have women that you think are also struggling, please share this with them. We just want to help and reach as many people as we can. Have a great rest of your day, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.